There's no time. How many times have we said that, and how many times have we heard it from people? Well, if you're happy with the way you are, then don't say that. But if you're tired of working 8 to 10 hours a day for somebody else, making somebody else rich, if you are tired of being controlled, or when you start to work, when you have your lunch, what time you stop working, then you're gonna have to find the time. Time for what? Time so that you can do whatever you want to do. You don't have to ask for permission. If you want to take a vacation, you can go and take a vacation whenever you want. You don't have to get approval. If you don't feel like working a certain day, you don't have to lie about being sick. You just do it, and that's it. That's that easy. And isn't that what we are all striving for? For that retirement day where you can work on the next chapter of your life and take vacations, go out to eat 2-hour breakfast, 2-hour lunch, 2-hour dinner. You can do all that without having to wait for retirement. So how do you do this? Well, it's gonna take effort, okay? And the way I know how to do this, because right now I am retired. I retired last year from my old job. Doesn't mean I'm not doing anything anymore, because I'm finally doing what I want to do. And I wake up when I want to wake up, and I eat when I want to eat, and if I don't want to work until 5 p.m., I can do whatever I want. I am still work in progress, okay? But here's what has always worked for me. Of course, God has always given me ideas, and He constantly gives me ideas and wisdom and advice. So first thing I gotta do, or you have to do, is stop complaining about lack of time, because everybody has 24 hours, okay? So why are some people successful and others are not? So first thing you have to do is make a checklist of everything that you need to do. I'm not talking about tedious things like laundry, dishes. That does not go on your list. So if you follow my advice, you can get up to 3 months added to your calendar year. So instead of 12 months, you have 15 months. If you give yourself 2 hours a day, every day, and dedicate that full focus to your craft, your art, that gives you 3 whole months added to your year. Now multiply that by 5 years, 3 months. That's like a whole year added to your life. Now, you have to have a checklist. It's like Dr. Peterson says, have a damn checklist. Okay, but I've done my checklist ever since I was 16. So here on my checklist, I have a journal. I read my scrolls. I'll talk about my scrolls later on. I do my physical routine, my beauty routine in the morning, the exercise, the gym, facials, hair treatments, all of that. It takes me a total of 2 hours to take care of my body and my spiritual, because in the morning I wake up earlier to pray. So there you have that. And then I also included my list things that I have to nourish my body with, like my rosemary drink, my vitamins, and other things like that. That's on my list. Remember, you gotta take care of your mind, body, and soul. I have things that I do not want to do anymore, because you do have to get rid of bad habits and replace those with good habits. So in order to get rid of a bad habit, I put it in here. No eating out. And instead of that, I have that, and so every day that I do not eat out, I give myself a check mark. And I'm replacing that with cook something. So I have that on my list, cook. Every day I have to read. Every day I put in read for 30 minutes, write for an hour or 30 minutes at least. Dedicate at least an hour to my fashion. Learn to draw, learn to sew, learn pattern making. So I have everything on my list, and it feels really great when you mark at 100% of it. But if you don't, like say, yesterday I didn't get to everything because I have to go to back to school night. But whatever I didn't do yesterday, I'm doing today. And aiming for that 100%. So whatever you have to do to get that gets you closer to your dream job, to your dream business that you're going to open up, that is preparing you, that is setting the time. So how do you get time? Say, because I used to be out of my house from 6 to 6, and I think I did a good job raising my kids. I'm very proud of them right now. And I have accomplished a lot of my dreams. I accomplished getting the house of my dreams, and right now I accomplished getting the things that I've always wanted, because I do have a wish list. And so a lot of those things on my wish list have come true, thank God. So how do you find your time? Say you drive 45 minutes to work. Instead of listening to music, listen to a lesson. Something that motivates you, something that teaches you something. I like to listen to French lessons. I might be doing French YouTube videos soon. And so say you drive 45 minutes to and from, that's an hour and a half. That's at least 1 hour a day dedicated to listening to something educational, motivational. And another thing you can do is while you're exercising. I see a lot of people with their earphones on when they're working out. Listen to your lesson right there. That gives you another hour right there while you exercise. Or during your breaks. I know we all get 2 15-minute breaks. We all get a 1 hour lunch, or maybe you only get a 30-minute lunch. Okay, you can add 15 minutes. No, you can add 30 minutes a day to your exercise routine. You can walk around your building for 15 minutes twice a day, that's 30 minutes. Or you can sprint. Sprint is better. Who cares if you come back sweaty to the cubicle? You're sitting there by yourself anyways. So there you have another 30 minutes added onto your day. Or another thing you can do is eat during your break, and then use your actual lunch break for a workout. Another thing that I do is I wake up earlier. So that gives me a whole hour that I can add on to my beauty routine. Like say, I can wake up earlier and do a facial, a 15-minute facial, or I can do a hair treatment. But if anything that's on your list, that gives you time. A whole hour of a beauty routine, well, that's a lot. That's a lot of time, and you can do a lot in an hour. And you can set a timer just to make sure that you're actually giving it time. Because, for example, I have my timer set at 5 minutes because every day I like to give my scalp a thorough massage to get that blood flow, the circulation into my head, and it kind of wakes me up in the morning. So I set a timer, because if I don't, I'll just go do, and that's not even a minute. Set a timer. And also, a timer is very helpful because we will get distracted. So for example, I want to give my craft of sewing at least 1 hour a day, but then sometimes I sit down and start laying out my patterns, and then the phone rings and the hour passed and I only gave my sewing 20 minutes. So when I use a timer, Every time I'm sewing, I start the timer. If I get distracted, I turn it off, and then I come back, turn back my timer on, and that way I ensure I am giving my craft the full hour of focus. And and also if you're working full-time, a lot of us get the holidays off. So from what I know, we have at least 8 holidays in a year. Paid holidays. We have 4th of July, Christmas Day, 2 days in Thanksgiving, New Year's Day, Memorial Day, Labor Day, Veterans Day. We have all those days. So instead of starting to celebrate the holiday at, I don't know, in the morning, which we don't. Usually we start celebrating the holidays at 4 p.m. to the barbecue, the carne asada, whatever it is. So wake up early on the day of the holiday, just as if you're going to work, and sit down and work on your craft. At least 8 hours, okay, 6 hours if whatever the event starts at. And there you have another 8 full days added onto your life. And then the weekends, we have 52 weekends in the year. If you give it 8 hours on Saturday, 8 hours on Sunday, that's 104 days. That's like 3 more months on your calendar year. And a lot of times too, I see a lot of people mess up and not appreciate the time that they have by doing all their chores. So you're working, you're making money, so why not pay somebody to help you? If you're making, say for example, $80 an hour, and you're gonna spend your hour or 2 hours at the laundromat, that service for laundry is costing you $160. Why not pay somebody $50 so they can do your laundry? And then those 2 hours, instead of being at the laundromat being bored and useless, why don't you go and read up and study and practice your art? And then you'll get better at it, and eventually instead of making $65 an hour, you're making $95 an hour because you're mastering your trade. So you gotta think smart. Instead of spending your weekends detailing your car for 4 hours, go and work on your profession and pay somebody $50, $100, because otherwise that car detailing is costing you $300, maybe $400 in reality, because time is more valuable than your hourly wage. Because at the end of the day, think about it. Why are we even working? For retirement? And what is retirement? It's a day when you can do whatever you want to do. Go to the places you want to go without restrictions, without requesting approval. It's freedom. And it's not just financial freedom, it's freedom of your life. Freedom to do what you want to do. And so you have to be careful not to become a slave. Because we make ourselves our own slaves. We make ourselves a slave to the car payment. You make yourself a slave to the mortgage of $4,000. When you could be renting a place for $3,000. Why not invest that extra $1,000 into something that's going to grow your money? Because we become a slave to vacations. You don't need a vacation if you're already doing what you enjoy. Unless you really want to go travel somewhere you've never been before, you really don't need a vacation. So don't become a slave to your debts. Don't become a slave to your mood swings or your desires. Yes, you can have time for your pleasures and things, but it's all a balance. And what better thing there is in life than to do what you enjoy and get paid for it? Now that is amazing. So there you go. If you follow your checklist and get disciplined, you can add years to your life. The time is there, but remember, it is running out. Like for example, me, I'm 54. How many summers do I have left? If I live another 40 years, I have 40 summers. It doesn't sound like a lot, does it? So let's take advantage of our time when we're young. That way, you can get out of that cubicle. The sooner, the better. Bye.